Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee with Melissa. I'm your host, Melissa. Cheers. So, what is one thing that you're grateful for? One thing that I'm very, very grateful for right now is cooler weather. We in California, and I think a lot of other places in the country, have had record-breaking heat waves. It was 100 and I think it was like 121 degrees out in Woodland Hills in the valley, which is about, I don't know, 15 miles from where we live. 121 degrees. Oh my gosh. Crazy. So I'm very, very grateful for air conditioning and cooler weather because it's just, our bodies are just not built for that high heat. And that's why I don't live somewhere where it's chronically hot like that, like Vegas or, somewhere else in the desert, So I did grow up in Reno. I lived there for 22 years. And maybe about every 5 or 6 years, we'd have heat waves in the triple digits, but it wasn't very often. The weather there, like it'd get into the 90s, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. Your body gets used to, the temperature being in the 90s, and you have air conditioning and everything. So, but it's triple digits, it's just too hot. Like we're just physically not built for that. So I am very, very grateful for the cooler weather. And yeah. Okay, let's dive right into our conversation this morning. I'm super excited about this next series. I know I say that about a lot of these mini series I do, but this one is really, really, it's really close to my heart, really near and dear to me, because it's Forrest Gump themed. And I love Forrest Gump. My husband and I watch the movie at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but I like to watch movies over again. He does not a huge fan of watching movies over again. There are some regulars that we have, like Forrest Gump, Contact, 2012. We'll watch the Star Wars movies, but anyway, I digress. But Forrest Gump is definitely one of our favorites. It's always been one of my favorites. I've never read the book. I'm very interested in doing so. I've heard it's very different than the movie. But I want to share some Forrest Gump quotes because Forrest Gump is just such a unique individual. He's just so simple-minded, which I feel is a great thing. And he really uses it to his advantage throughout the movie and throughout his life. And it's just so incredibly powerful to me. And Forrest Gump he's such a huge inspiration to me. And if there's one thing I wish for the human race, I wish that people would be more like Forrest Gump. He's very humble. He's very kind. He treats everyone with respect. And he doesn't know what he can't do. He just doesn't know. He doesn't know his limitations because we really have no limitations except for the limitations we set on ourselves. But Forrest, he doesn't know. And he just speaks his mind. He says things matter of fact, and I love that. I admire that, and I wish I could be more like that, and I'm working on being more like that each and every day. So let's dive right into the first one. I'm going to read this long quote. It's really long, but it's a really great one, and I thought it'd be great for starting out. So he says, and I quote, "That day, for no particular reason, I decided to go for a little run. So I ran to the end of the road. And when I got there, I thought maybe I'd run to the end of the town. And when I got there, I thought maybe I'd just run across Greenbow County. And I figured since I run this far, maybe I'd just run across the great state of Alabama. And that's what I did. I ran clear across Alabama. For no particular reason, I just kept on going. I ran clear to the ocean. And when I got there, I figured since I'd gotten this far, I might as well turn around and just keep going. When I got to another ocean, I figured since I'd gone this far, I might as well just turn back and keep right on going. End quote. Like, how amazing is that? Well, I've made it this far. Why don't I just keep going? I made it this far. Why don't I just keep going? And if we had more of a mindset like that, like just keep going, but we stop ourselves. We hold ourselves back and we sabotage ourselves. Nothing outside of us is stopping us. Everything within us is stopping us. Because if you think about it, Forrest had braces on his legs as a kid, right? Because the doctor said his spine was, quote, crooked like a question mark, end quote. And I love that. He had scoliosis. And, so he had these braces on his leg. And then one day he's running from these bullies and they just magically fall off. And he just, a quote from the movie was, "That boy's a running fool." That's what the guys outside the barbershop say. And it's just like, yeah, because he's like, whoa, I could run. This is so cool. And he just keeps going and he falls in love with it. So one thing also about Forrest Gump is that he doesn't know where the end of his comfort zone is. We as humans, we know, when we're feeling uncomfortable, we know where the end of our comfort zone is. But Forrest, he doesn't know where it is. To him, he doesn't even have a comfort zone. You could probably ask him if he lives within his comfort zone, and he probably would say, I don't know what that is. Because he doesn't know. He just keeps going and he just keeps pushing himself. So I did this about a couple weeks ago. I went on this really difficult local hike, Boney Mountain. If you're in the Ventura County area, highly recommend it if you want a challenging hike. It's not a beginner hike. It's actually a hard hike. The first 3 miles is not that bad, but the last 2 miles up to the top is very challenging. It's a lot of step ups, some rock climbing, not like rock climbing, but some rock crawling, more like. Anyways, and I hadn't done it in a long time, maybe a year or two, and I really wanted to do it. So I thought I'm just gonna pack a lunch, pack some water, and I'm gonna go do it. And I did it, and I actually did it in a record time because I just kept going. I just took it one step at a time. One step at a time. And I thought, well, I made it to the 3 mile mark, which is where the monument is. Might as well just, take a very short break and then just keep going. And then I'd go up a little bit further. Well, I made it this far, might as well just keep going. And it reminded me of Forrest Gump on his run because he just kept going. So, and I gotta say, guys, I've done that hike several times before, so it was nothing new to me. I have done it with no problem at all. I've done it with weight. I had weight on my back, and I had done it with more weight on my back. So I've done it several times. It wasn't anything new. It really wasn't out of my comfort zone, but it was a little bit only because I hadn't done it in so long. So my body, I haven't been doing hikes like that, so my body wasn't really conditioned for that hike, but I thought, well, I'm just going to go do it. But I just kept going and going and going, and it felt so good. Physically, emotionally, and mentally, I felt really proud of myself for just keep going. So really having the mindset to just keep going no matter what happens. There's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be challenges. Always, 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 always. even if we get set back a little bit, it's like, what? Okay, well, I made it this far. Okay, I had this minor setback, but, or even major setback, even a big setback, but I've come this far. Like, what can I do now? Like, what else can I do? And really being in that mindset, like, what else? What else? What else can I do? How else can I challenge myself with this, on this journey, on this path through achieving XYZ goal? I run a group health coaching program for a local company down here, and I encourage them to start writing down their successes, whether they be big or small, and really focus on them. And if you haven't done that, I highly encourage you to do that, because it really boosts your self-confidence for anything in your life. Like, oh, if I could do this, then I could do this in this area in my life. I'm successful at work. Now I could go be successful in the health aspect of my life. So I really want you to think a little bit about, like, why, because when we stop ourselves from doing something, we get so far, we come to an obstacle and we give up. And then we procrastinate on, quote unquote, getting started again. So why do we procrastinate? What are we afraid of? Are we afraid of failure? Are we afraid of looking stupid or silly, or afraid that people will laugh at us? Or are we afraid of success? Do we really feel like we deserve to be successful? And are you afraid to get out of your comfort zone? This is a huge one. We like staying in our little comfort zones. You know, it's comfortable, it's easy, it's simple. We have a routine. We know what to do. And really, the real growth is outside of our comfort zone. My husband and I are making some big life changes right now, and it's really been an eye-opener for me. Like, we really months ago were like, we've got to make some changes. Like, we're getting too comfortable with how our life is right now. We need to challenge ourselves. It was getting too easy, too comfortable, and honestly, a little dull with the way we were living our lives. So we're like, that's it. We're going to go start pursuing our dreams, which we've been doing that along the way, but we're going to start pursuing XYZ dream. And we've been doing that. And I tell you what, it's uncomfortable. It is not comfortable. You know, we're in a transition period right now, and it's fun, but there are times when it's not so much fun. But that's how we grow, and that's how we achieve our dreams. That's how we make our dreams come true, and that's how we achieve our goals. That's how we become a better person. When we're a better person, we could be more to those around us, and when we're more to those around us, we can make difference in this world, and we can make an impact, and we could be of service to others. And that's exactly what Forrest Gump did. He had all those followers when he was running. People admired him. They wanted to run with him. And the look on their faces when he stopped running, when he decided he was done after, I think it was 2 or 3 years, they just were like, oh my gosh, what do we do now? It's like they had like this wave of disappointment. But anyway, so I encourage you, just keep going, just keep running, you know, like tell yourself, well, I made it this far, I'm going to keep going. And then ask yourself, what can I do next? What's one little baby step I could take out of my comfort zone? One little baby step to get me closer to my goal, to my dream, whatever it is. So anyways, this is probably going to make you want to go watch Forrest Gump. So go ahead, do it. I give you permission to do it. Take a couple hours out of your day and do it. You won't regret it. So we have some more Forrest Gump quotes coming up that I'm super excited for. So stay tuned, and remember to hit subscribe down below. And yeah, Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Cheers.